Hey everybody, it's Kate Richburg. Apologies for my tardiness. Of course, I had to do some restarting. You know how it is, technology. Hang on. Sorry. Hopefully everything is stable. I had to restart. So if there is an issue, just stay where you are and I'll be back. Okay. But I think for now, I think we're okay. I'm hopeful. But anywho, hello, happy Wednesday. Again, sorry about, technology. But Janice was here doing her thing, greeting, meeting, saying hello to everyone. It's great to have you all here. Well, I am in deep I am in deep prep for the retreat. It's coming along. It's going to be really fun. I'm telling you, it's been, I can't take the camera off of just where I am here because the rest of this office looks like it's exploded, but it's going to be fun. I just spoke to the retreat center actually about an hour ago. I hear that the Wi-Fi is a little better. They've improved the Wi-Fi. So I may be able to stream. Okay. So I will let you folks know what's up. Trust me, we've got some things that are launching while we're away at the retreat. We've got some special stuff. I will be posting the newsletters as usual. So stay tuned to the newsletters because I'll probably have some retreat photos and stuff in there as well. Also, really great news from Janice. Let me see. I'm just looking through and seeing that we are going to sorry, I'm distracted. I think Chris is making a smoothie and I'm like, ooh, I hope he's bringing a smoothie out here. Anyway, sorry. I'm so all over the place today. So let me tell you. Okay. There was that. Janice had something. I'll remember it. Anyway, I'm babbling. So let me get to the show. I thank you, JP. Oh, the East Coast. Thank you, JP. That's what I was going to say. We are getting very close to an East Coast location. So, and I'm going to be booking the dates for the West Coast next, while we're there. And I'm also very, very close to securing our location for Fresno. So there's all kinds of stuff coming. I would say I would not download. I would download like any movies and stuff you want to watch beforehand. You may want to, you may be able to stream, but, part of the beauty of a retreat is unplugging, right? So I'm going to try and unplug as much as I can, but we can see. Oh, and Maureen is saying, Mo, I'm so excited to see you there. Janice, you guys can chat at the retreat. There's a great place in Long Island, which I'm excited about hearing. So, yes. And Alita, no TVs, my friend. I think it was in the description. I hope so. I hope you're not disappointed. But anyway, enough retreat talk. I sent you all an email. Reach out if you need anything. That was the story. Let's talk about what I'm going to show you today. This morning, we launched the companion pieces to these, what do I want to say? The Tibetan pieces. They're kind of companion pieces. Okay. So I think you're going to love them. So I've got them here. Let's talk about these and let me show you. Okay. Let me show you what we've got. Yeah, no, it's really lovely. It is kind, it's a retreat center for like reflection and making. So, so we'll just have to entertain each other for sure. Bracing drink of coffee, and let me add all of this to the stage so you can see. Okay, let me scoot that up. Let me zoom out. Let me make all this happen. There we go. And thank you, JP, for linking to those new beads. Let me get this. Okay. Yeah, having to restart and everything before we start always throws me off a little bit. So I'm sorry I'm a little scattered, a little more scattered than usual. Let me show you what we've got. Let me zoom in just a bit. And let me do this. Okay. This. Okay. All right. So this is what we've got. We have these new ones, and some we are doing in groups of 4, and some we're doing singly. These are the eye bead tubes, agate tubes in colors that we launched together. These, I think, are 30 millimeters. Let me measure them for you. 30, yep, just shy, 30 millimeters. And these are a perfect single bead bracelet size. Okay, just like that. Love, love, love. So you can see, here's the one, the ombre that I made, right? And the link is up. Thank you, JP. This is up as a project already. So you can see kind of the difference in bead size there. Then I did some in groups of 4. Okay. So we've got these eye beads in the 12 mil and in, I think these are 8 millimeter. Yeah, 8 millimeter. Okay. That's these. Then we got these agate stripes, and they're in browns. They're all going to be a little bit of a different color. Okay, they're not going to match exactly. Then we've got the stripes. We've got the stripes in black, and they're not perfect stripes, right? Because these are all handmade. We've got them in the black and white, and then the white on white, which I love. Let me get a little tighter in here with the camera if I can. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Then we've got the dark brown eye beads. And then these we're calling cobblestones. They kind of look like, they have kind of like a patch on them with the spaces in between. So I like the idea of calling them the cobblestone pattern. So that's what we've got here. 8 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter. Okay, if that makes it easier on you. And then over here is the 30 millimeter. Okay, so those just launched today. We've got great ample quantities. These I think will be reorderable. I just spoke to my vendor actually a couple of days ago. And so the 10 millimeter and the 12 millimeter that you loved so much from the Great Bead Extravaganza, those are going to be restocked in about a week or so, I'd say. We're also going to have some new semi-precious. She's got some really great, the quality, I was chatting with her. I'm going to put myself up on the screen while I kind of get this together. The quality now of semi-presh, right? There are it's hard, and I'll just say it out with what's going on with trade and all of this. It's really hard to get some of the things in that we used to. And quality, you guys, is still our number one priority, right? Number one. If the quality isn't great, we don't want to carry it, right? If you do get something, because we look at everything that goes out the door, right? It comes in, we look at it, you buy it, it goes out, right? I'll be really honest. If you get something from us that you don't love, contact us. We cannot make it right if you just sit there and stew. Okay? So if there's an issue, because you're going to talk to either me, Miranda, or Janice. And we all have equal clout, right? Right? We all, want to make sure that, and sometimes Chris, but Chris doesn't deal with the emails. But, we all really want to make sure that everything that you guys get, that you love. So if there's an issue, we don't know about it unless you reach out to us, okay? Via email, info@beadshop.com. Okay. I just wanted to put that out there. So I had this long conversation with our semi-precious supplier. And, I was talking and I was saying, everything sold really well and the qualities, yeah, Janice is putting it up. Janice, it's sad to think my status has dropped. Janice, you are still numero uno. You are the doyenne. It is true. But you, over the years, have always empowered your employees to make the right decisions, right? That's one of the beauties, I think, of, especially when we had a brick and mortar store, right? We all had the decisions to make the right choices when it came to like customer service and stuff like that, because, Janice led by example for sure. Right. So Janice, as Alita says, and I put Jessica's, thank you, Jessica, for that. But Alita, as Alita says, you're still number one. I should tell everyone about the cactus. I'll tell everyone about the cactus and then I'll get back to these beads. So, Janice has been known sometimes to be a little prickly because, that's how sometimes you have to be to run a successful company and stuff. So when Janice was feeling, and make sure, Janice, I get this story correctly, that when she was feeling particularly prickly, I think it was maybe your therapist or your business coach or someone, JP, said to put the cactus in the window so that we knew. I might have to adopt that with Miranda. Put a cactus on my desk. If I'm feeling particularly prickly and the cactus is up, But no, it is true. And I think that was it. And yes, everyone, JP, you are always number one. Right. It's true. And no, this is my silver. It's, though it might be. Oh, okay. That was it, JP. It was the employees would put the cactus in the window. So the afternoon shift knew that Janice was prickly. Well, what are you going to do? The thing is, JP, your prickly lasts only this long. It happens. And then, so I try and emulate that. It happens and then we move on, right? You are very, very good at that. I would love this if this were Campbell tomato, I'll tell you, but no, it's my little, my metal, little coffee, right? And no, we always, we always told Janice especially when we were at brick and mortar. I mean, I started working for Janice in the brick and mortar stores in 1992, from 92 to 2002. And the the thing is that she taught us, you know, I mean, you take the good with the bad, right? We always can't be rays of sunshine. And yes, until after the store closed. That's so funny. No one did give it away. That's good. I had been gone by then. When I was there, I was definitely Janice's buffer for sure. Janice is saying, I didn't mean for this to become a memorial service. Yeah, no, it's true. But anyways, all right. We could get on and go on and on about talking about the old days, but let's talk about the current days right now. Let's get back to these fantastic beads. Let's do this. And again, folks, I am in deep mode for retreat. So my attention span is crazy. And yes, my mom, I was a child. Let me see here it is. You were a child, Kate, when I started. Yeah, it's really true. 92. I was young. I was a young kid. I was a kid there. And it's a great idea. Get a cactus, put it in your window. If the cactus is there, people know what to expect. Enter at your own risk, right? Okay, let's take a look at the project that I did on the Saturday Stitch-In a couple of weeks ago. I did it on a Saturday Stitch-In. It was super epic. I did the whole thing from start to finish, from soup to nuts, all of it. And so you can watch the rebroadcast and kind of fast forward through things. But I did a lot of troubleshooting about the technique and stuff. It was really fun. And I really appreciate those of you who really hung in there with me the whole time, cheering me on. So I wanted to make this into a set. I wanted to make a bracelet that went with it. So just to refresh your memory, what I did on this was I did 3 different size 8, 0.8 millimeter Chinese knotting cords. Let me see. I put them all here so I wouldn't lose them, and now they're all kind of bundled together. So I used 4 different colors. Here it is, and golden toffee. Here's the other one right here. Okay. So that's there. All right. And what I did was, just to reiterate, you can go back and you can look at it. I did it kind of like we did the poetry project, where I did all the long pieces. I kind of folded them over together with the loop, used 2 as the base and 2 as the macrame, right? And then, sorry, no, I'm changing that. There was 4 at the base. They came through. I doubled the 2 over, so I had 4. So I macrameed with 2 on 2 on each side. And you can go back and watch the broadcast, so I don't confuse you. But it made this really beautiful macrame ombre kind of a stitch. And again, this was with the 0.8. Let me zoom in on this so you can really see the stitch. And I think sometimes when you use a lot of colors in a piece like this, it can get a little difficult to see, or a little busy, I guess, with too many like colors that don't really tone together well. It can start looking, I think, like a little messy, or you can't really see the stitch definition. So when I chose the colors, I purposefully chose things that kind of had a good tonal shift to them, if that makes sense. Okay. So you can see when it comes out here on the stitching, it has a nice color shift to it. So this came out, I want to show you here. Let me zero this out. This is pretty wide. It's like 7 millimeters, or if I switch that to inches, it's a little over 1/4 of an inch in width, right? Maybe almost 1/3 of an inch. So, and then it's also kind of thick. Let me do that one in millimeters. Almost about 3 millimeters thick. So it was a nice, it's just a nice weighty piece. And I thought it would also, even just like this, just doing something like this would make a fantastic bracelet. You know, for people who like a bracelet that has a little more something to say, right? And I did, thanks, Ma. I really did share some great techniques, if I do say so myself, about how this piece went together. I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy with it, to be honest. So, but I thought for a bracelet, right, you could put this bead right in the center of that, right? So we would start, you know, you could even do one of our smaller ones like we've got here, like I put in here, but I could start with that and, you know, put a smaller bead in the center and just use one single bead for that bracelet. And then it would go around and you would close it however you wanted. What I would do with this is I would put one of our swivel clasps on here. I'd close it with a jump ring like this, and then use one of our swivel lobsters, the bigger swivel lobsters, not the tiny ones and not the jumbo. I'd use the middle of the road size. I think that would look great. And I think that these they work up quickly. You can get a ton. I used these exact same ones on this. I had plenty to do a couple of necklaces. You'll have plenty to do bracelets. So you can kind of, you know, do kind of an assembly line and do these for, you know, for the holidays, right? Holidays are coming up. It's going to be September soon, right? So get a jump start on those holiday presents. This would be a terrific one. You could put the clasp, if you wanted, close to the first bead and have the clasp kind of be, you know, a design convention, or you could have it go right in the center like this and go in the middle. And let me tell you, the sizes that I used, I did use a skinny size. I used a 0.4 in this mix. And then I used 0.8 in these three. I think that's what I used. Yeah, you can see right here in this scallop, it's kind of hard to see, but that's a 0.4. So you could play around with the thicknesses of your cords to kind of decide, you know, what you want the outcome to be. Okay. So I have this, and that would be fun to work with. What I also brought in today was I got some 1 millimeter leather. I got it in this henna color. And the henna, I think, is gorgeous. It's the painted leather. I brought the whole spool here so you could see it. It's just really gorgeous, right? I love it. Janice is asking about the 20 millimeter push clasp. JP, we could definitely use that one. That push clasp, that would work out really well for it also, because it's also a swivel. I'm trying to see if I have one sitting here. I think I put them all back so Miranda wouldn't yell at me. But the push clasp would also be a great solution for this as a bracelet. Let me see. Pardon me. I don't think I have one here. Sorry. But it's the push clasp on the website. You'll see it. But that would work as well for a bracelet also. Okay. So here's the 1 millimeter in the leather. Okay. I also grabbed the 0.5. And I just want to work up something really quickly just to see how it looks. Right. And I thought you would be all right with that. I'm going to use the bark jump ring, 12 millimeter jump ring. It's like my new favorite thing to use. Well, it's always been one of my favorite things to use, but I just love how thick it is. I need to make sure that it's completely closed. It's so sturdy, so well made. It's just gorgeous. So I'm going to come in and I think I'm just going to do this on a single. I'm going to cut, I don't know, for the 1 millimeter, I'm going to cut about a yard and just kind of have that hanging out. Okay, so let me get my clippers. Let me do that. Okay. So now what I want to use, I think I'm going to put on one of these light ones in the 8 mil, and it fits on the 1 millimeter, no problem. Cindy, same thing. I love a Say Something jump ring. I'm going to put this guy on. I'm going to put this. Then I'm going to go back down. I want to put a ton of beads on here, but I have to remember this is a bracelet. Okay. So I'm going to put these 6 on. Okay. I mean, look at that. Look at how great those look just on the leather. This henna leather is perfect for it. Now I'm going to come through. I'm going to put this on the jump ring, right? I'm just going to come through it. I'm going to attach, hopefully I didn't take all my clamps out for the retreat. No, I've got one here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to clamp that on right there. So I've got some overlap, and I'm going to clamp this down over here. Okay. And then I'll tighten and stuff. All right. Now this is going to be a bracelet. This is just as easily could morph into a necklace, but I'm going to try and keep this just to a bracelet. I'm also going to get my tape measure. Where did it go? Again, since I'm packing, here it is. It's just right here, right in front of me. Because I know door to door, my wrist, I like my bracelets to be between 7 1/4 to 7.5 inches, depending on how thick they are, how wide they are. So if I say that this is going to be finished 7.5, the middle of this, with the clasp and everything, the middle is going to be about 3 3/4 right here. So I know I'm going to back it up just a little and say, because if the clasp all on its own is going to be about 1 inch. Okay. So I'll take 1 inch away. So let's say it needs to be about 6.5, the actual beading part, right? So if I do this to kind of cheat and fold this in half and look at where I am at 3 1/4. So that was about right. 3 1/4 from where I am down here, pardon me, is going to be the middle. So that's where that bead has to land. Okay. So what I need to do is lay out this order right here so that, lay out this order, and then I can just mirror it down here. What I probably want are these beads not to be too close to the clasp. So I think I'm going to kind of lay them out, space them out about like that. Okay, if that makes sense. So my first bead, when I macrame around it, is going to be about right here. So now what I'm going to do, I put my leather through that jump ring. Now I've got to hook that jump ring, or I've got to tighten this stuff up so that I can come in and I can start macrameing here. So see here, I'm going to tighten And I'm going to clip right there. Hopefully those are staying kind of tight. Whoops. Well, that kind of jumped off. Put that there, right there. Okay. Tighten this up right here so everything is tight. What I need to do is I need to macrame these two pieces together. Okay. Macrame, macrame, macrame. Okay. So you can macrame, you could certainly macrame with Chinese knotting cord over this. I'm going to macrame with 0.5 millimeter 0.5 millimeter leather. I'm reeling off my leather, and when we send it to you guys, we don't send you knots. Okay? Whatever length, with very few exceptions. Like if you order 20 feet or 20 yards of leather, it may come in 10 and 10. We just had someone order 24 yards of leather. We got to like, I don't know, I think there were 2 knots in the whole length, so we just added in 2 more yards, right, to kind of make up for it. We like to really get you the leather so that there are no knots in it. But I am coming to a space, I'm just cutting this off the end, so I'm going to cut it right here at the knot. Let me measure this out, right, and see what this length is. All right, so this piece that I cut was, it's a little more than a yard. It's about 62 inches. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Okay, I'm going to come in, I'm going to fold this leather in half, and I'm going to knot. I'm just going to do the flat macrame knot. I'm going to give it enough room up here, right? So there's a loop. Let me zoom in just a hair here, right? I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my first macrame knot. Hopefully this is the center. Let me double check it. It is. I'll come in, I'll tie my first one. We've got a skill builder for this. I do this in a lot of projects, so I'm not going to detail it quite as much today. But there we go. There's my first macrame knot. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do this at Kate speed to get these two pieces closed up and together, right? I love macrameing with the 0.5. You do need to check your 0.5 leather because it is under a little bit of tension as you tie these knots, right? So you don't want your leather to break. If the leather breaks, though, it's easy to add on leather and to keep going, okay? So I'm going to do just a couple more of these. Then I'm going to cut away. This is probably enough. I'm going to add a little bit of glue underneath there, okay? I'm going to macrame a couple more over it, and then I'm going to taper this down, okay? This will probably hold without the glue, but the leather can be slippery, especially this painted leather, so I'm just going to give it some glue. I'm going to actually use the zap because the zap is what's sitting here. And since it's on leather, the zap will dry pretty quickly. What's with that? That was kind of messy. Let me fix that. Hang on. Glue can, you want to use less glue is more, right? Let me get a nice little hit here. And I'm just going to spread that out just a bit because I don't want it to show and look like a big blob of glue. Okay, there we go. And so let me macrame over the top of that. Now that this is together, I can take this clip off too, right? And I can tighten all of this up. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this. It's going to come in. It's going to macrame over that glue. Be kind of careful so that you don't, make a big gluey mess. But that looks good. Okay. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to angle cut this leather that's coming out of it so that there's not a blunt cut there, and I'm just going to keep macrameing. Okay, and so what did I say? I'm going to have to lay the piece out again to see when I'm going to bring up my first bead. But let's do this. If you had a large hold bead, you could have put a large hold bead on here of some kind and then slid it down, you know, so it kind of covers this. I think it looks great, so I'm not worrying about it. You could also use one of our transitions or evolves and crimp it down. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I'm just going to kind of cover this up nicely. So see here, since I did that angle cut, can you see it? That angle cut, since it's not blunt, when I macrame over it, it's just going to kind of come in and hug this main cord. Okay, so here that comes. I slide it up. See, it's hugging. See how that just kind of came in? And now I'm just going to keep going. And so the end of this, it is going to be a little heavier because I've got double cord under there. But let's see how it looks, right? I don't think it's going to bother me that much, to be honest, because it's in the back. And I'm going to make the other side equal so it looks intentional. Okay. So let me do a few and then I'll measure. Love it. See, I think it looks fine. It's just tapering towards the beads, which I think works out. Let me zoom out a little. Let me take another bracing drink of coffee here. And let me lay out my my piece. I said that the center was going to be 3 1/4, I think, right? So that's my middle bead. Okay, so maybe that one goes there. And I can always elongate this with jump rings. Okay, so maybe I'll make this center at 3. I feel a little bit better about 3. I don't know why. I can always, as I say, elongate it because I don't know what clasp I'm using. I can add a spare jump ring, but those are pretty big loops on there, right? You can make a smaller. You don't have to use this giant 12mm ring, right? So let me say that goes there, that'll go there, that'll go about there, I think. Okay, so let me just, whoops, no, you stay where I tell you. Let me get those out of the way. I'm going to do 4 of these, 4 knots, 4 half hitches. That's 1, that's 2, and you really just have to get it right to the middle, because then the point past the middle, you just mirror it, right? So we've just got to get this right. Okay. There we are. Okay. Like so. Let me measure again. So 3 is my center. Looks like it's about time to add, right? So maybe I'll just add one more set of these so it doesn't land in an awkward place on my wrist. Now I will do this, slide this, where's the loop? There it is. Go around it like this. I'm going to do 4 more, and let's see if 4 seems to be the right number. I don't know, but I'll measure. Look at this henna color. The Pantone color of the year was Mocha, what was it called? Mocha something? Mocha, I can't remember. Mocha was the first word. But this really had, I think, picks up that color. Though, I'll be honest, I'm kind of tired of seeing everything kind of beige. So I want to see color. Mocha Moose! Thank you, Margaret. I knew it was Mocha something. I couldn't remember. It left. It wasn't Mocha Mix. Mocha Moose. Yeah, it would make a great guy bracelet, or for anyone who likes wearing things. Like, I love wearing like heavier pieces like this that have a little more leather and stuff looking to them. So yeah, definitely. And you could macrame with 1 millimeter here instead of the 0.5, and it would have an even chunkier look. The 1 millimeter is the right size for these beads to sit on, but you could macrame with the 0.5 or the 1 mil, right? So let's go ahead and measure. Was I measuring from, I don't know, I'll say I was measuring from about right here. Yeah, this is about right, about 4. 1, 2, 3, 3 full half hitches. So that's actually 6 knots in between. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to put 6 knots between these right here. Okay. Right. So let's do that. I think these look pretty good. You know, and you could do it with all of these smaller ones. Remember that these smaller agates, everything that you see here comes in packs of 4, with the exception of these eye beads. These are sold by the piece. Okay. But they come in packs of 4. They are extremely well priced, if I do say so myself. That's another thing about that vendor. You know, was really talking about, you know, she's really trying to be super picky about her quality. And she's really passing good pricing onto us. And that's part of the vendor relationship that I feel is so important when you're a small business. You know, we're pretty vendor loyal. We've been using vendors for forever, ever. So we're really lucky. Oh, Janice, thanks for letting us know. Yeah, we want to make sure that you've got to get to the Apple Store stat, because you need that computer while you're traveling. So thanks for being here, JP. I agree. I think that the 5 millimeter with these beads is a fantastic balance. I really like them. So we're going to do 3 full square knots or 6 half hitches. Okay. So we'll do that here. I love how you folks are traveling together to the retreat and sharing, carpooling and doing all of this. It's really, it's great. Great. Love. So here we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Right there. We're going to slide that one in. And bring this around. Okay. Right. And, oh, Ramona, I hope everything's okay. We'll see you soon. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more, 5, and 6. Well, I promise you, we won't stop having retreats. I mean, I'm promising you as much as I can promise you, but, you know, so if not this year, it's a great goal to have, right? So this is good. Let me measure. And Carolyn, yeah, I'll give you some info on that, okay, about how I measured. So let's go back. Let's check where I'm at with the length, because we did this, I mirrored it here, and I should just do this over here and it should be right. Okay. So this 1 millimeter, I wanted to have extra, right? This basically you need a bracelet length plus a little bit more to tuck underneath. So you need about, I'd say about a foot for the base. Okay. And this is 1 mil. Now, when I cut this, I cut it up to the knot. And what did I say? I had 64 inches. So, 36. So about, I would say about 2 yards for this. Okay. For the 0.5 for a bracelet. If you're making a necklace, obviously you're going to need more. You're going to need essentially the base, the length of whatever you're macrameing down, plus I'd say about 4 inches. Okay, so you've got 2 inches on each side, right? This, if this were 64 inches that I started with, you can see I don't have that much left. I'm going to have just enough. So maybe 2 yards for every 7 inches or so here, right? And Kathy, we do have we have a section that we call for the guys. You know, I hate to pigeonhole and say, you know, you can only wear this and you can only wear that, but jewelry that has kind of a more masculine type of feel, if you check that for the guys project area there, you'll see a bunch that we've kind of made that have a little more of a masculine bent to them. But duly noted, I agree. I love a little bit of a heavier jewelry kind of a look. You know, for anyone to wear who likes that. So Carolyn, 7 feet. So it would be 7 feet of, hang on. Let me pull up my calculator. Just so I got it right, because I don't. Here I am. I'm back here. Sorry about that. I think I hit something funny. Let me just get my phone in there. Hold please. There we go. All right. I think we're good, right? I'm back. Let me take me. There we go. Sorry. Hang on. There we go. And this. Okay, I think we're back. Let me just do a quick calculation here. Hang on, why can't I find... Oh, technology. Hang on a second for me. There we go. Hold, please. I need that, and I need this. Okay, so if we... What did I say? 64, about 64 divided by 12 is about 5 feet. So I would say for this, I would give yourself about, and depending on how many beads and stuff you have, I would say, I would say 6 feet. I would say like 2 yards, right? Maybe a little more, maybe 2.5 yards. So about 6 to 7 feet, I think, for the macrame portion. For the portion that it goes on, you really only need a foot, right? So depending on what configuration, if you're going to use 1 millimeter for the base, and I would recommend sticking with 1 millimeter for the base here and not going down to 0.5, then yes, a foot for this and about 6 feet or so for this macrame over the top. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Why did the screen all of a sudden also go kind of dark? Hang on. Oh, maybe it's my computer screen. It is. Never mind. I'm okay. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. Sorry, that math was kind of a little, there we go. That's even. Let me go up here. Bear with me. There we are. Okay. I think we're back. I think we're good. Okay. So let me measure and go for the end of this. So here, I'm gonna count this to see where we are, and I'm just gonna make it match, and then I'm gonna take it off, and we will check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. 18. 18. So 9 full. 9, I think. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 full square knots up there. So yeah, Sally, perfect. I love how you just summarize that in that in that comment. A foot for the core and 6 feet for the working threads. Exactly right. Thank you for that. Thank you for being my editor for that. Appreciate. So now we're just going to come down here and I'm going to do 10 so that these match, and then we'll take it off and we'll see what it looks like and we can figure out a clasp or whatever. I think Janice just texted me too. Oh no, she texted me earlier, but my computer, I'm like, what's Janice texting me for? She knows I'm on the air. It just came through. Thanks, internet. Anyway, I get that when like if you put your Apple Watch or whatever on in the morning, all of a sudden, all of these messages are coming through. I'm like, who's blowing up my phone? And then I realize, oh, those were all from yesterday. Perfect. Now, I also have to anticipate the fold over here, right? So let's look at this. Okay. This 1, 2, 1, 2, so it's about the last 4 is when I macrameed over. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's about time for me to say, okay, I'm gonna scoot this. I'm gonna get my ring. Let me do that. Let me think about this. And then I do this. No, I do love it. And I love your comment, Margaret. I was just reading, I think it was in the Times, New York Times or something today, how, last season, or maybe it was even the season before, a lot of the Major League Baseball players were showing up, in a pearl strand, which I love. I made a strand for Chris, which he loves. And, I do love, like, the fluidity that you can embrace with gender and with your clothing and all of that. I love it. Well, I saw that a lot of the major league players are showing up in that classic Van Cleef Arpels kind of quadrifoil necklace, which I kind of am loving. I'm loving that. So, wear what you want to wear, right? It's all an illusion, right? That's what I say. It's all an illusion. And if you don't like it, don't wear it, right? That's what I say. That's what I say. So see here how I am folding it in half. I'm coming down here. I'm going to fold this over. It looks like that macrame starts right there. So I need one more macrame right here that's just not underneath anything. So I'll do that. Right. There we go. And I'm going to come in. I still see I have that bend there. So this is here. That matches up. I'm going to come in. And so see here, I am, let me see how I'm going to put this. When I was macrameing this way, right, I cut that angle and macrameed it down, right? When I'm macrameing it this way, I have to angle cut that here, okay, like this. Right? I love it. I love, yeah, I think that in these times, and I'm just going to get on my soapbox here for a second while I do this, but in these times that are so fraught, right, with everything, that we need to find our happiness and our happy place. And it is not my place to rain on someone's happy parade if that's what they love, and they're just trying to live and be who they are, right? That's it. That's all we can ask for, right? So let's just remember it, right? Love. Oh, see, I know Michelle knows this, right? It's the Van Cleef Arpels Alhambra design for sure, right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to clip that there, right? Because it has to kind of stay there so I can grab it to macrame over the top. I'm going to put, I need to add a little bit of glue here just so I can get these two to merge together. Okay. Right? And I get it. People, not everything is everyone's cup of tea, right? But that's what makes us great. Diversity, makes us great, right? Diversity, bringing new ideas to the table, listening to each other, and listening to people's point of view. If you don't agree, just let's have some civil discourse. Let's come together. And 100% Carrie Keaton, if we were all the same, how boring life would be, right? So boring. Our food, I don't want to just eat I'm going to say it, I grew up, my gran was a product of the Depression. Thank God we had some Italian thrown in there because, she was very much a product of her Depression. And I'll say it, my mom can attest to it. Some of that food was bland, right? But we also embraced foods of all ethnicities in our house, right? My gran cooked amazing Mexican food. Thank God. What would this world be without the spiciness of the cuisine from our neighbors to the south, right? What would it be? It would be dull and boring. You need some picante, some caliente, some spice, right, in your life. What would our nation be without, our chefs who come here from many lands? I don't know. Don't get me started. I feel very, very passionate about that. Let me get back to this project. But you know what I'm saying. Anyway, go have some fun cuisine today. So I'm going to clip this up here. Okay. And Ethiopian food. It's what I miss about going to Tucson. Oh, Ethiopian, my favorite. See here, let me zoom in on this. This is how I'm going to kind of arrange this so I can macrame. Let me zoom in on this when I was having my little moment about food, right? I was gluing this. So here is where I just came up. I added that zap glue. I put this little baggie underneath it and glued it together. And see, that's where my little taper cut is, right? Like that. So now I'm just going to come in and macrame to about right here, and I'll be done. Okay. Oh, don't get me started on the blacklist. Dang, I love the blacklist. James Spader, I'm just going to say it. I mean, as long as we're talking truth here, James Spader, come on. From his early 80s days to this very moment, I just love him. I love him. Love him. Love. Chris knows. It's nothing new. Chris is fine with it. But I do love him. I really do. He was in something that was a costume drama too, or a movie. I feel like there was something. I'm trying to remember what it was. And he was really good. Maybe someone will remember. I know my mom loves him too. We just love him. So good. Really great. I loved the blacklist. I'm not super keen on like the last part of it, but I actually need to I think we were watching it kind of in a hurry, so I need to go back in. But I think it's a great premise for a show. I think it's really good. So see how I'm coming up here like this. Come like this. Then I will, then it'll be done. I have to finish this off though. I have to glue it here, these ends. So let's take a look. I said 10, right? So, yeah, Terry, Youngblood was on, he was on stage with Billy Idol. I think they were doing something. Yeah, I don't know. He's cute. I'll say it. Creepy old lady, say it. Might as well. Um, but but he's no Billy Idol. Let me tell you. And I know I've been a Billy Idol fan since 1981. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost perfect. Great. Yes, and I'm so into the Gilded Age. Oh my goodness gracious. I love it so much. One of our bead table members, Tina, she lives part of the time in France and part of the time here. There's a Worth expedition at one of the big Paris museums. I'm trying to remember which one it's at. So she's going to go. So hopefully she'll share some photos of the Worth exhibit. Maybe it'll travel. Wouldn't it be wonderful for it to come to the States at the Palace, not Palace of Fine Arts, but, the one that's up by the sea, not the De Young. I always forget, has the thinker in the front, right? I move away from the Bay Area and I forget all the museum names. But anyway, it would be amazing to see it there. It would be a perfect venue for it. A little bit of glue there, a little bit of glue there on the inside, right? Like this. Let me put that in there. What's that? The one on the hill in Lincoln Park. What the heck is it called? Gosh, Grandma, I'm losing my memory. Legion of Honor. Thank you, Margaret Sloan. The Legion. Wouldn't it be, that would be perfect for the Worth exhibit. So see, I'm right here. I love this chit chat. I love, Betty, that you found her old scissors and pinking shears. Yeah, cherish those. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Love it. I'm going to do one more. It's actually going to give me one more here, but I really want these loops to match. Let me make sure. Well, they kind of match. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's all she wrote right there. So let's do another glue. Yeah, the Legion. One of my favorite museums. Though the big three, SF MoMA, the Legion, and the De Young are all. It is true, my mom. I have not been to 100 Billy Idol concerts, Ma, but my mom has taken me to 3. My very first concert when I was 18. We drove all the way from the Bay Area to Sacramento to the Cal Expo to see Billy Idol. I've seen him once at the fan door. When I saw him, he was at the Warfield, I think, in San Francisco, and we waited outside the stage door, and I was crazy. I couldn't even speak, and this was not that long ago, but what are you gonna do? So handsome. Sorry. Who are you? What? What? Sorry. Where are you? Am I in the middle of a broadcast? I better get back to it. Okay. So now I'm going to come in. The Zap glue really dries very, very quickly. And so I kind of got this here with my plastic and I kind of tamped it down. So what I would say is, if this were real jewelry time and not demo time on the video, I would come in and I would wait a few hours to close this up. I could have pushed this down and gotten one more in there, but it's fine. I was too busy thinking about Billy Idol, so I'm going to blame that on him. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to clip it here. And I'm going to clip this one here. Okay. Now, if you're using a high contrast leather where it's painted and you see like the inside of the leather was really, you know, it really has a high contrast, you can just get a permanent marker like a Sharpie marker and color it. But this henna is fine, just like this. All right, here is the moment of truth. I know it does seem so but you know what? I fangirl all the time. Like if I'm out, like even at a show, like if I'm at like a craft show or a knitting show or whatever, and I run into one of my like crafting idols or whatever, I totally fangirl them, right? I'm all, hi, whatever. And they're all, oh, you're Kate Richburg. I'm all, hi, yeah. So I'm a total dork. So whatever. What are you gonna do? So here's this, and it looks like it fits about right. So I would just get my my clasp. The cool thing about this is, though, if these, like if I'm looking at this now and I'm like, you know what, maybe these are too big, right? Maybe these loops, you know, they were more in tune for what I had here, right? It's the same jump ring, but see how here it looks a little skinny, right? So I think I'm going to just trade them out. Let me go I'm going to grab a clasp for it. So this is a good place to take a screenshot, and I'll do a final, let me put this down so you can see the door-to-door length. Okay. So there that is. All right. So, oh, Margaret, you're so funny. I'll fangirl you right back. We're going to meet in person. It'll happen. Let me get a clasp. I like the idea of a swivel. I like the idea of the swivel push. Let me see. I mean, you could use anything, but let me see if I can find one here. That's the jumbo. That's the toggle. Hang on, I should have thought about this beforehand, but just bear with me. I'll find it. Swivel. Come on, somebody. Anything for a swivel. Miranda stepped out, so she's not here. See what happens when Miranda has to run an errand and I'm left on my own? See what happens? I can just use a big lobster. Sorry, everybody. Maybe I'll use a toggle. It's just sitting here, and it's going to take me forever to find the swivel clasp. Apologies. Let me just do this. You can use any clasp you want. Right? Here we go. Hopefully you all got your screenshots. Here's this. Okay. So a toggle would look great, right? Oh, and here she is. Can you find me a swivel? The large swivel. Lobster. I don't know. Whatever. Copper. I know we're getting those restocked. But I told people, it's like I was over there looking for it. And I couldn't find it. The jumbo lobster or the jumbo swivel? No. Jumbo. No. Swivel. The swivel, but not the jumbo. Regular? Yeah. So I'm going to change that out. See, I've got smaller jump rings there. See, I was looking completely the wrong place. You could use a toggle, but I really want it to close. I mean, it could be any lobster too, but I really wanted the... Oh, okay, the gold. We're getting the copper restocked. Here's the gold one. So let me put a gold jump ring on. Okay. Let's do this. And let's do this. Nothing like planning ahead, but thanks for sticking with me.
All right, you're just in the nick.
I know, just in the nick of time. How dare.
Why didn't you look in your
I can't. Box? I know. Miranda redid my clasp box. She did all this stuff to keep me on the straight and narrow, but you know. All right, here we go. Here's these. There's those clasps. Let's put this here. Let me zoom in and let me show you how. But this would look great too. This toggle, right, with this one. But I'm going to put a clasp on it. You know, a lobster claw. So let me take these off. I don't even know what time. Okay, good. I'm not running over. No, the hands. Do we still have these hands, Miranda? The hands that were on this?
The pendant?
Yeah. Yeah, they should be. Anne-Marie, they're under pendants and charms, I think. We should have a bunch of them. It's something that we always keep in stock because I love them. We've got a bunch of, do we, okay. Yeah, and we do have some. Yeah, it's always something that we carry. So, what's the name of it, Miranda? Do you know? Hand pendant. Yeah, if you do a search or you go under pendants, you'll see them there. Or I think it's linked from the product page too. So see, I took that off. Now I'm putting this one on. Oh, but they did. Oh, okay, Anne-Marie. We should be getting those back in. That's something that kind of takes a little while to get back. But if you're on the, put yourself on the wait list, the sold out list. Sometimes the sold out list, there's a little bit of a bug with it. You have to refresh your screen. I'm going to have our web guy try and tackle that. And then you'll get a notification when they go back in stock.
Is it the hand? Yeah.
This one.
We have them.
We have them?
The hand of hibiscus is that one.
Oh, it's the hand of hibiscus. Anne-Marie, I love this doing customer service in real time. Hand of hibiscus is sold out, but the hand pendant we do have available. It's there. Okay. It's the white metal hand. Yeah, it's the hand pendant, and it comes in brass and in the silver white metal. Okay, here it is. Look at that. That's much more in tune with the size. I think this works out beautifully. Gorge. Let me see if I can put it on. If I can put it on my wrist. Let me see. Let me go. Take this out. Let me see if I can get it. I might, but let me put it on. Just see. Let's just see.
Ever tried one of those bracelet helpers?
Mm-mm.
I've never tried one.
No. I mean, maybe I should. I'm struggling, but I think I can get it. Yeah, here. Miranda's going to put it on me. Put it on. There it is. Yes. And look, the length is right. Let me put it under this camera. Length is right. Everything's good. Yeah, it's perf. So let me give you a door-to-door measurement on this. Okay. Usually I can get them, but this side was a little unruly, so it was kind of waving around. Here we go. This length, door to door, for my 6.5 inch wrist is just a little over 7. It's about 7 1/4. Okay, so you can see where this lays out. I love it. I love the way that this looks. I'll have it up as a project. Okay. I promise you I will. I think this will be a lot of fun. So, so yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it on the website before I leave. Okay. So, just busy times. That's it. So you can find all of the new stuff. They're in the Just In. They're also over on the in the Tribal and Trade and the Agate. There's a link to everything on the homepage. Sorry, my hair is all crazy. That's there. Also, Chinese knotting cord. If you checked in your newsletter, the Chinese knotting cord, I marked it down yesterday and today. It's all marked down 10%. So you can stack it with coupons. You can stack it with rewards, any of that. Okay, so it's a good time if you want to stock up on your Chinese knotting cord that it is available. It's on sale, 10%. You can stack it with the current coupons to get up to 20% off. All right, that is my story. I'm sticking to it. No live this Friday. What I'll do is I'll pick one as a rebroadcast. Okay, but I'm going to be traveling. Janice is going to be traveling, so there won't be any moderation, none of that, but you folks can kind of chat on your own. I'll pick one out to play on Friday. And stay tuned to your newsletters for the weekend and everything, and I'll share with what's going on. Also, with shipping, we are shipping right up until the moment that we leave on Friday, okay? But shipping will, and we're caught up, right? So shipping will resume. We get back here on Tuesday. Miranda's taking Wednesday off. So shipping will resume on Thursday. I'm going to put it in the newsletter. We're really caught up. So things from the weekend that you order and stuff this weekend.
Chris will be filling.
Yeah, Chris is going to be filling while we're gone, but we'll be coming in and we'll start shipping again on Thursday. So things will go out pretty quickly. We have 22 participants plus all of us instructors. So I don't know, 26, 20 something thereabouts. So it's going to be a good time. We'll have a good time there. We'll miss you all. And I will be back on Wednesday, with a live broadcast a week from today. It'll all be done. I'll be resting. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much for everything. See you soon.